So in this video, I'm currently flying the MiG29, a Fulcrum, the full Fidelity MiG29 in DCS, flying in Persian Gulf on the Contention PvP server. And thank you to whoever was flying that Su-27 at the start for the quick flyby. And if you didn't notice him then, he tried forming up with me when I was in my left-hand turn to enter the battlefield. Before he broke off. But heading in now, you're going to see a lot of the HMD during this flight. So I've been using specifically the co-op mode in the MiG29, and if you're not familiar with that, it is basically using the IRST, the infrared search and track, and transferring that information over to the radar to gain a radar lock to use Fox 1 missiles rather than Fox 2. Now the downside with that is you cannot lock with the radar long ranges using the IRST, because the handover can be a little bit finicky, and when you're in co-op mode it constantly puts you in pursuit mode. So that is great for people who are either notching or cold running away from you, but coming in hot, the radar struggles sometimes. So you've got to really offset yourself to get a decent radar lock, as you'll see later on in this video. We are just ingressing in now. I clocked a call out for a C-101 that's operating somewhere in the area, so he'll probably either be doing ground attack. I'm not sure if they can drop troops on this server. Pardon me. And he'll either be doing that or calling out ground targets for people to destroy, basically. So the blue team still currently have Kasab, so we are working towards the mountains, hopefully, and providing some decent cap so our helos and ground attackers can work without getting pestered all the time. But right now this C-101 is the main priority for us, so we're just going to ingress in at a low altitude. It's a shame that when I've recorded this, so I fly strictly in VR, but recording I like to just use the replay on the flat screen, so the HMD is just the shadow on the screen rather than the 3D model that you would get in VR, which I think it looks a lot better. But yeah, the MiG29 is a joy to fly, and when there's more force feedback sticks available on the market, i.e. specifically talking what wing right now, this thing is going to be awesome to fly. I've been tempted by the Moser, but I'm going to hold on for a little bit and see what other companies have to offer in the near future, hopefully near future. But yeah, this thing, I've had quite a bit of a curveball trying to learn the radar this past week. Lots of frustration, hair pulling out, and also trying to get the co-op mode to work, so you have to do everything in a very specific order. I won't be talking too much about that now, but yeah, it's a very involving jet when it comes to trying to use the radar and employ the air-to-air weapons. So we are ingressing now, sort of still notching this C-101 because I'm not sure if he has heaters, and if he's head on and he gets an all aspects Fox 2, then he has every chance of killing me when I'm flying low like this. So better off to be safe and just keep notching him and try to get a decent aspect on him for a Fox 2 shot. But I'm not denying that it is so much fun flying low in the mountains like this. So we are within 10 kilometers of him now. Just spot him over the ridge, and then he disappears again, so I'm a little bit worried that he might be turning in hot behind one of these hills, so keeping my eyes down where I saw him, raise my altitude a little bit to hopefully give me an aspect before he does. But I don't even think he knows I'm here right now, so I managed to get a lock. Fox 2. That's a good track. He doesn't dip below. It follows him and splash C101. At this point, I'm just going to turn cold because you don't know if anyone else is sneaking up. The EWR is saying an F-14 that's 65 kilometers away, but when working in kilometers, those distances can close really quick. So transferring from using nautical miles to using kilometers to sort of fit with the 29, it's a little bit of a learning curve of learning like danger zones for Fox 1s and Fox 2s. So we're going to head a little bit southeast. We're going to start ingressing back to the north again towards Kasab, and just focus on staying low. So we are running with the radar, I wouldn't say off, it's in dummy mode, so it's ready to be used when handing over contacts through the IRST to use the R27s. Another thing to be said about the MiG29 module is the mirrors are hands down, they've knocked it out of the park. They are so good, and they're the only module that I would strictly fly with them on, just because it's really nice to look in your mirrors and you see your missiles hanging off your wings, and the actual visual fidelity and detail that they've managed to retain in them without losing much, if any, performance. Like, I don't notice any performance drop in VR with them, but they've really knocked it out of the park with that one. So hopefully they implement whatever they've done with the MiG29 into a lot more jets in the future, because I really wish that they did something like this for the Phantom. The Phantom mirrors are great, but they drop my frames too much, so I have to turn them off. But for some reason they just look awesome, and like the 2 frames maybe that it drops you is definitely worth it. So yeah, we're just heading back north now, slightly on towards the east coast, staying low, give some of these locals a nice little flyby, boost the locals' morale a little bit. I'm sure it'd make me really buzzing if I saw a MiG-29 flying this low, this fast. So we are currently out of fuel in the external tanks, so I'm just going to head towards this water and drop the tank there so it doesn't have a chance of hitting any civilians. Still scanning, not much on the EWR at the minute, but you never know if there's a Gazelle or any other helicopter that can carry Fox 2s, they can get a sneaky cheap shot on you, so you're just going to have your wits about you when you're flying low in the mountains, especially around Kasab, because that airfield is prone for a lot of helo warfare from there. So there we go, jettison the tank safely in the water. Hopefully there's no one swimming where it impacts, but I'm pretty sure there isn't. Okay, so the closest things right now are what looks to be cargo planes, so we're just going to have a nice jolly old time flying low in these valleys, pretending that we're in the Mach loop. Again, looking back now, I probably should have just turned my helmet sight off, but when in VR it's kind of nice with the 3D model, whereas filming it with the 2D shadow on the screen, it sort of makes it look a bit cheap, but that's just the way DCS models the Russian HMDs for flat screen. But I think for future videos I'll probably make sure that I remove the helmet sight before doing some scenic flights like this. But the MiG-29, the way that I can describe it flying wise is when people say that certain cars are drivers' cars, the MiG-29 is what I would call a pilot's plane, because there's no fly-by-wire, even though there is like a control system set in place that's kind of similar to a fly-by-wire that limits how much you can pull, which you can override. It's a lot more manual, retrimming all the time, reset trim, which at first I found a little bit jarring to use, because there's no other plane that you have to trim so much. But the more you fly it, the more you get used to the speeds and the acceleration and what you're expected to happen, and it just sort of becomes fluid, and you get used to it, and you get into like a little rhythm of changing speeds and trim, and when to reset trim, especially in a merge, which I'm sure some people do forget, that when you enter a merge, I reset my trim so I know exactly where I'm pulling the stick and where it hasn't been reset to, unless you have a force feedback stick which will be held in the trimmed position. So how the trim works in this module, and i.e. the MiG29, when you trim, it's sort of like a helicopter cyclic, where when you trim it, it'll stay in that position. It does the same thing in this jet. So if you've got a normal spring stick, it will create a new center for where you trim, so the stick inside the MiG29 will move, but yours won't. But that will be sort of the new center. But yeah, here we go. Just rolling over, biding some time. There's an A10 up, and there's also an F14. So we've turned cold just to give us a little bit of breathing room, because they were closing and the F14 was hot. But he has dropped off scope, so at this time I'm unsure whether the EWR has either lost sight of him, or yeah, just unsure whether he's too low or landed. So we're just going to egress a little bit, staying low in the mountains, repositioning, because we don't know if we're getting pinged by their AWR, so he might know where I am, he might not. So we're just going to use the terrain always to our advantage, and always keep an eye and see if you can spot anyone, because the A10s as well with the Fox 2 missiles can be a bit of a pain when you're down low. We're just going to bide our time and take a bit of patience with us, because the more patient you are in the 29 and sort of control, even if you're at an altitude disadvantage and you're lower down, control the distance, control the gap. Don't rush in and wait, because people get really greedy, and you can either get them to chase you and you'll have a friendly, take them out, or you can get them where they turn for someone else and they're just target hungry, and all they want to do is just get a kill. And when they turn for someone else, take advantage of that, because they will be fumbling around their radar trying to find you when you're low and you've come hot and you're really close, and by that point you've got them dead to rights pretty much, as you will see shortly. So the F14, I think he turned cold. Right now we're just looking. I thought I saw something. There was like a dark speck towards the clouds, but yeah, I'm not sure whether it was something that I saw in my VR headset for like a split second, which these things happen. But yeah, we're just hunting. I was a little bit on edge at this point, so I just turned a little bit cold just to be safe, because we do want to survive at the end of the day. It's not very good just playing takeoff simulator. So yeah, keeping it low. I don't think we get very high altitude wise in this whole half an hour sortie. So yeah, keeping it low. And also, at this point in the flight, I was sort of almost forgot that I was in PvP. So I was just enjoying flying the MiG29 around the valleys. It's gotta be said, if you've not got the module, and when it does come to trial, which I don't know how long that'll be, but I can't recommend it enough. I know it's not fully finished and polished yet, but they're really working on stuff. But as it stands now, like, I am very pleased with everything that has come from it. I think it's an absolute brilliant module. And it's just a joy to fly, even if you're not the most potent jet. out of like the F-18s, 16s, and all the modern blue stuff. It's just brilliant to fly. So we're just checking a friendly off to our 9 o'clock crossing, heading south. Got an F-14 coming in now. It's 75 kilometers away, but as I said, with kilometers, it closes down real fast compared to nautical miles. So because he's at 75, he could be a threat within a minute or two. So I'm going to turn cold because he's currently hot for me now, and he's high and fast, which gives him a lot of range on his missiles. So I'm going to stay down, hug the valleys, sort of head to the east-northeast and try and flank him. So we're just going to hug these valleys, hopefully avoid EWR or his radar, because Jester's pretty good at times and he'll spot stuff hidden. So he's lost a bit of altitude. He's at about 5,000 meters now, so that gives us a bit more chance to start turning towards him now. So now we're currently heading straight north up the eastern side of what will be like the mountains just south of Kasab. Okay, he's dropped to the deck. It's at 900 meters, so someone must be engaging him, or he's getting engaged by a SAM. But he seems to be like fluctuating in altitude, but he's gone down low and he won't have the same sort of advantage over me now. So I've got to take it as it comes and hopefully come out on the better half of a Fox 1 or 2 engagement with him. So again, instead of going up the open valley to the left, I'm going to choose to go right and hug the coastline, stay low, pop over the valley, get towards the water, and hug the mountainside, avoiding any radar opportunity they might get to locate me. So again, he must have circled back round to engage a friendly target, but still not close enough yet for the IRST. Like I said, we're kind of limited range-wise. Our missiles are great, but actually getting the guidance for the missile is the difficult part. So here we are, turning hot now to engage him. He's at 333. Don't have visual, looking, got him. Spotted him. Probably won't be able to see it due to the compression, but I do have him locked. He's currently in the hood, moving right to the left. Now I'm waiting out. I've got Fox 2 launch authority because I've overridden it, but I don't have the radar lock yet, so I'm just waiting and hoping that it doesn't see me. Looks like a friendly's just engaged and splashed another enemy over there, so then I'm clear till about 9 o'clock. So coming in. And radar's locked, and that is a Fox 1. Good track, it's heading in. Splash, F-14 Tomcat. So when the co-op mode does work, it is so satisfying, it's so good in this thing. So now we're just going to egress south because we're a bit out in the open. We don't know who's around after that engagement. You get a little bit heads down and sort of tunnel vision for that person, but the nearest is an F-15 at 54 kilometers away. Now 54 clicks away sounds like a lot, but if he's going fast, they can close that distance real fast. So I'm going to pick up some speed, egress a little bit, reset, and then reevaluate our situational awareness using the EWR. Now there are a few contacts around as well. There's one off the nose high. In fact, scratch that, there's 2 off the nose high, and they are more than likely friendly. I think there's some friendly helos operating on this west coast near Kasab, because there's a stronghold just over one of these ridge lines. Now I'm not too sure which ridge line specifically, so I'm a little bit puckered here because I don't want to fly straight over a short range SAM and take a Stinger missile without realising, because I feel like that would be quite a wasteful flight otherwise. So that's where I keep tipping right to see if it was that one. now thinking that I crank left a little bit thinking I'm going to be alright, and it turns out this is the one with the stronghold, so I've done exactly what I didn't want to do. So I clocked a couple of units down there, and I was half expecting a Fox 2 / man-powered missile to come straight up me from behind, so roll over this, duck away, get out of sight of them, and now I'm in the clear. So now the F-15C is still operating in the area. He's still 50 clicks out, but we've moved like further south, so he's closing to Kasab. And also I knew there was an A-10, so I clocked something just over this hill. So just to double check, I got the HMS back up. And looks like we've got 2 friendly helos. Got an Mi-24 Hind ×2 off the right hand side and a Black Shark. Let's just give him a little bit of a roll, just to say hi, and that I am giving him some air patrol in the area so they can feel a little bit more safe to operate. That's another Black Shark off on 9 o'clock, just crossed, so they seem to be doing a lot. There we go, we've got the A-10 on scope, 20 kilometres, so I'm looking for him at this time. It's kind of difficult with all these hills. I'm looking, 028, looking, but all I'm seeing is friendly helos. I know the Hinds can carry Fox 2s and the Black Sharks also, so hoping that they'll be able to defend themselves against an A-10. But he's dropped off scope, so I presume at this point that friendly fighter has probably taken him out. So the next priority is the F-15, and there's also an F-14. They're both within 40 kilometres. So I'm turning for the F-15. I feel like he's more of a threat than the F-14. Again, staying low, hoping to get a cheeky aspect and surprise them a little bit. So using the mountains again for an advantage, so if he was to turn and engage, I could turn for a little bit of cover and break lock. So I get him locked, get radar authority, fire Fox 2 first, and then I'll go for a Fox 1. But sadly I wasn't sure at this time whether he was going to come this side of the mountain or the other. So he just dips behind, so my missile just strikes the mountain. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to come around here and Fox 2 him straight away. So I pop over and I see black smoke just off the nose. But then I'm fretting, like I think he might be trying to enter a rate fight, and now it turns out that black smoke that's off my 9 o'clock now crossing, it was him splash. So at this point I was a little bit panicky, unsure what to do, and I was waiting for the next DWR call out, and I wasn't sure whether to turn. But I knew there was 2 F-18s in the area and wasn't sure if they were on my 6 as well, so I pick up a lot more speed and decide to try and egress at this point because I'm low on fuel. So rather than flying in a straight line and letting them track me, again using the terrain to my advantage. Okay, 2 F-18s still hot, they're closing. So I'll stick the heaters on a little bit. Half expecting them to get a Fox 1 or 2 on me. I think one was tracking me then, but I'm going to break his lock with the mountains. And they're breaking off right now, so some other friendly must be engaging. So at this time, we're just going to carry on a low egress. Reduce chances of them getting a nice Fox 1 from a decent range, and egress back to the airfield to have a cup of tea after this one, I think. So we are now coming out of the mountain range, looking for the local airfield. There is one just over here somewhere. I didn't set up the waypoints this time. I was in a little bit of a rush when I did this flight, so just doing everything visually, looking for landmarks over to the coast, and then using some of the roads and the tree lines. Okay, clock the airfield. Gonna bring it right so we can do a straight in approach. So we're gonna drop the throttles right back, reduce speed because this thing just doesn't like to slow down. So use a bit of offsetting to help reduce the speed. And then once we're below about 600, I usually drop the flaps and the gear, and they help slow you down. And then we'll just come in for a really nice ride. But yeah, the MiG29 is an absolute joy to fly. And if you're thinking about getting it or tempting by it, just do it. If you're into like MiGs and stuff, this thing is awesome. But yeah, I appreciate you watching, and hopefully I'll make some more videos like this in the future. Maybe less talking, but I can't seem to shut up. Anyway, take care.